So in the sequence of opening up the shoulders, door frame works very nicely as a very efficient way of opening up the shoulders. Similar position to what we had with the dowel. The thumbs are rotated out, hands are down below the hips, and if you come through, you can start the process of opening up any tightness in the front of the shoulder. As you're able to bring the elbow up to the height of the shoulder, you can use the door frame again to step through, and from here you can work on trying to move your trunk and thorax through the doorway and also incorporate some head and neck cervical rotation. Always a good idea to change your foot position. Stretch both sides, head and neck, cervical rotation. As your shoulder is able to, you can also work in a full overhead position like so, to work on coming through the doorway to open up a different part of the shoulder complex. You can see that the flexibility is somewhat affected by the position of the thoracic spine in terms of your ability to move through a doorway or being restricted behind that doorway. A really nice movement pattern to try to establish for people is getting the backside completely onto the wall and working on what you might consider making snowflakes with your arms. Be careful to make sure your head and neck are back against the wall. And then as that gets easier in a seated position, the idea here is to increase the difficulty by increasing the challenge of the thoracic spine position against the wall. And use a wall as best we can. If we can try to get the entirety of the arm against the wall, then from this position, if I can move my left shoulder away from my right shoulder, that will start to open up the right side of my chest. If I have my left shoulder open, I can also work on cervical rotation. I can also come back and get to the other side of my forearm and upper extremity by taking the back side of my hand and getting a stretch to the back side of my hand. It's a little more challenging to get my shoulder to the wall, but I can work on opening my shoulder here and opening up my neck here. Everything we do on the right, we'll turn around and we will do on our left. If we use the door frame to again just work on shoulder mobility, we can work this movement pattern. If we're able to move one foot back and then in turn work, you can start to feel that the change in the trunk position affects how freely or unfreely that shoulder will actually move. And in turn, you can drop down into a kneeling position and work here as well as here.